I'm a psychic medium and I can see that 2026 will be a good year. So I connect to the energy of 2026, and what I can see is that it's a year full of fire. I feel like that's the word to describe 2026 is fire. So just to break that down, I'll go about the positives and the negatives. What I can see is that, water and earth goes downwards, like water has weight to it, earth is grounded. There's movement in air, of course, but fire, like hot air lifts, it goes up. So I can see a lot of people moving up. So if you're someone that's has a lot of yang energy, maybe more masculine, or not, but just has that go-getter energy that wants to achieve their goals. Like if you're a visionary, like you want to move forward, this is the year for that, 2026. I can see a lot of new leaders showing up. Like there's just a sense of moving upwards. If you're not that type of person, because we're not everything, So if you're not that sort of goal-getting person, you're like, I'm just chilling and my life's great. That's okay. But what I can see for 2026, what I would encourage you to do is start projects. There's like an action, like fire catches. So it's like it's not just chill. Fire is exciting and passionate. So I really would encourage you to start passions and actions and projects and hobbies in 2026. 2025 was the year of change. There was a lot of pivoting, a lot of shifting, a lot of changes. 2025 in energy had neutral. It was like lukewarm, but it could have affected us all differently. It could have been a good year, a bad year. But what I can say, there was shifts in perspective, in thought, or bigger changes drastically, like moving or new relationship, new job, or whatever. 2025, there's a lot of planets that shifted signs that haven't done in 30 years kind of deal. It all happened in 2025. So a lot of endings and beginnings and new energy must have occurred in 2025, which is good and bad, but it can feel unsettling. It can feel like we don't have our feet on the ground. Like it can just kind of feel all over the place. One thing I like about 2026 is kind of like the dust is settling. I have my ducks in a row and I'm ready to move forward. Like I said, there's a lot of momentum, a lot of action going. There's a lot of energy pushing you forward in 2026. But what I do feel is that it's going to affect us differently. So I'm kind of going to, like, of course, there's many different types of people. So I'm kind of separating us in two, even though there's millions of types of people out there. There's like the go-getters and the chill. I'm more of a chill person. I like to sleep. I like to have a good snack. I like to do my nails. I'm good. I'm chilling. And then there's the go-getters. Typically, it's the man on one side and the woman on the other, but it doesn't matter. And I want to say 2026 has a masculine type of energy. That's why it's like the go-getters, the leaderships, the let's get things done. Like it's going to really assist the masculine. All right. It doesn't mean that the feminine, the yin people won't have a good year. It just means it's not the year to go in the dark or be depressive or be overly receptive or being by yourself or introspective. Like the yin is the nights, the yang is the day. It's not a nighttime year. It's a year full of awakenings, of brightness, of fire. I hope I'm making sense. What I want to encourage is to look into the yang qualities, okay? So yang is active, it's driven, it's action-orientated, it's logical, it's stoic. It's all the stereotypical man qualities. Unfortunately, that's kind of like the theme 2026. So what this means is, on the positive, all those things, making your dreams come true and blah, 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 blah. On the negative, I can see a lot of combative energy, so we have to be mindful of that. We have to see each other as one. We have to love each other and move from a place of compassion, which is what the yang lacks. The masculine, the yang, that's what it lacks. I can also see a rise of false leaders and a rise of ego in 2026, which also goes with the high yang energy that I'm feeling. So just being mindful of our ego and to move from a place of love. But that aside, 2026 seems really good. 2020 to 2025, those 5 years could have been tricky. 2026 really does feel like a fresh start. It really does feel like a new energy. The thing I kept seeing psychically, like what spirit was showing me, is kind of like planting seeds, and then those flowers will bloom really quickly. Like that's what 2026 is. So it's like there's quick moving up energy. So we're going to move up. in life. So that's why it's not the time. Like, it's like for people like me that just want to, you know, la di di da and just paint my nails. And like, I'm introverted, I'm lazy, I'll say it. That's just who I am. It's not the year for that. The energy calls me to, let's go, let's make our dreams happen. Let's shoot for the top kind of deal. With all this yang, what I want to say is that we're not fighting against each other. So as I work myself up, I don't kick others down. I let others rise with me. If I'm rising, you rise as well. If I have a business, if I have a hairdressing business, I don't. But if I do, I'm gonna work so hard for it to be successful. But if you have a hairdressing business, I'm not gonna try to put yours down. You rise. I hope you make $1 million. I hope I make $1 million. Do you understand? Because I can see a combative, competitive energy for 2026. So we just have to be mindful of that. Psychically, I also see moving countries. I can see a lot of people moving around, which can make sense with the political climate. I also sense environmentalism being very huge in 2026 for the good. Like, I feel like all the environmentalists will win this year. So if there's like a bill, or I don't know, if someone wants to tear down a forest, they won't be able to. Like, I feel like nature thanks us in 2026 for some reason. That's what I'm sensing. I mean, this is so vague, but I really sense, you know, when Michael Jackson died and it was like a huge thing? I sense that in 2026. I don't know who's gonna die. Like, not to cause like we're fine. Like, you know, but I sense that like a huge death that's like, oh my goodness, you know, not to. It's so like the rule. It's like, as a psychic, you're not supposed to predict death. But I feel like this is okay because I'm not saying like your brother's gonna die. Nothing like that. I would never. But I do feel like there's gonna be a significant death in 2026. So that's my prediction. But I sense so much joy. I sense a lot of happiness. Like, the positive of the fire, it's fun. It's frivolous. Like, and I sense a lot of joy and pleasure and happiness and ease. I really feel like 2026 is a fabulous year for so many of us, you know. It'll affect us differently, but the vibe is high. Another word of caution that I can see is that there's quickness. There's going to be doors opening, right? For all of us. Like, there's a lot of opportunity, because a lot of people are working in 2026. So if I'm working on a door, that door could be just for you to walk through, right? So if a door opens, it's like someone's project. I hope this is making sense. But if a door opens in front of you, walk through it. Say yes. Like, there's quickness, momentum. Walk through the door of opportunities, right? One thing is to look before you leap. I can see a lot of people skipping steps, like a lot of moving quickly and ascending quickly. Look before you leap. You know, make sure the seatbelt's on before you go on the ride. You know, make sure you know what I'm saying? Look before you leap. I think that's it for 2026. It just came to me. And I was like, I gotta share it. Let me just pull one card, because there's one more thing I had to say. Give me a second here. It feels, masculine. King of Cups. King energy, that's for sure. But I like this. So this is kind of what I'm saying. Leadership, I love it that this is the card, right? Like, there's a lot of leadership, a lot of like rulership here, but make sure we move from compassion and oneness. A true leader isn't just trying to make $1 million and isn't trying to be the best and be at the top of the mountain. Like, a true leader wants to help and be of assistance of others. And King of Cups is that. Cups is the suit of emotions, and King is the masculine rulership. So like ruling of emotions, ruling the land. This is really the vibe of 2026. Wow, I can't believe I pulled this card. Stop it. Anyways, if you'd like to book a reading with me, we can dive deep into your personal 2026. I'm a really good psychic medium. Just book at www.tristansky.com or just message me and we'll make it happen. But yeah, I wish you all a beautiful 2026. I really think it's going to be amazing. And yeah, love and light.